Hey everyone, and welcome back to Stories from the Internet. This is a video on Becky. Amber Lynn Reed's Becky. Well, not anymore. Specifically with her YouTube channel KindaGoodKindaBeck, which is currently at 84.4k subscribers at the time of this recording. Let's check out her community post because there's been two things people are displeased with. The Vinland flag, of course. Well, actually, three things. The Vinland flagged, the Dave Chappelle situation, as well as the GoFundMe situation. So let's take a look at all of these three. Also, while looking at her community post, or through the lens of her community post, should I say. The first one from 2 days ago, Becky wrote this: Part 2 of my Q&A was filmed the same day, so the flag will still be in the video. Also, I was just made aware from an article about Dave Chappelle's transphobic comments in his new Netflix special, and I have a poster of him as Rick James in those videos, but I will be removing that as well now. I loved some of Chappelle's stuff back in the day, but I won't support hate. This actually warrants a lot of looking into because there is a lot more to the story than an article. Remember, folks, people write articles a certain way because the bottom line is to get as much eyes on the article as possible. So they will twist it. Not saying it's happening or not happening in this case. I am just giving information here that people will twist other people's words and present information in a way that a lot of times it actually is biased. Although most, agencies, stations, etc., will say they're unbiased, but in fact, it's very hard to take your bias out of when you are presenting information, especially when it's hitting closer and closer to home, or if you have a vested interest in whoever you're writing an article on. It doesn't always have to be a positive vested interest or a negative one. You just have a vested interest. So the first comment here is this. I'm going to just be honest. I don't think the majority of the hate you are getting is coming from your subs. I think there are people who are desperate to tear you apart for absolutely anything they can make up. This is almost entirely because of a certain someone you were engaged to, either because they are her audience or because they want to paint you with the same brush as her. But that's not who you are. I find it interesting that none of this kicked up until you got monetized. For whatever reason, it seems these people do not want to see you succeed on this platform. But the people who are here because we love you, we love your personality, we love what you're about, and we are here to help watch you realize all of the potential we see in you. You have a good heart. If you feel it's right to stop supporting Chappelle, now go with that. But you already have the poster, so you aren't putting money in his pocket. And that character, along with the Chappelle show in general, are damn near 2 decades old. I personally don't see your poster as proof that you support what he said recently. For most of our lives, Chappelle has been one of the best comedians alive. Let me pause there for a second. I think a lot of people need to watch this special and know why this special is called a closer before they start typing words on the internet. I think people need to do that. That is called doing your due diligence. Because just like a book review, you should not review a book if you haven't read all of it. You can't read half a book and then review it. That is wrong. You can't watch half of a movie and review it. That is wrong. So before we continue, if you have not seen the Netflix special, at least review that before you put your thoughts to type in and say anything and everything you need to say or want to say about Dave Chappelle. Keir Snyder continues to say you don't owe anything to anyone. You need to stay true to yourself. If you feel like you made a mistake, never be afraid to apologize. But if you feel like people are attacking you over nothing, ignore and or block them. You are a good person with a great heart. You will always have moments where subs get mad and they'll leave. But the more you showcase who you are and what you're interested in, the more subs you will gain from people unaware of your life before who you are just here for you. Yeah, good point. And those of us who were here just because we love you and believe in you from the beginning will still be here. Much love to you, Becky. Some fair points, some points I don't agree with. Others, are rather fair. Let me continue to see what else people are saying. It seems the messages here are very divided. Some are very pro-Becky. Some are maybe anti-Becky, maybe more anti-ALR because people are still tying Becky to ALR. Okay, here is one from Cam. You read an article that said Dave Chappelle's special was transphobic? Maybe watch it. Exactly, Cam. People should watch it. It was all dedicated to his trans friend who was to be the opener in all of his shows in her city, hence him being the closer. It was all for Daphne's memory and his hurt for her being bullied by people in her community just before she ended her life. MG says, Becky, if you know Dave Chappelle and just watched his special, you know he has nothing against the trans community. One of his very best friends was trans and they got along because of comedy and the struggles they both identified with. He loved her and her passing affected him so deeply, and it was the trans community that dragged a trans woman on Twitter calling her a traitor for being friends with a black comedian. The point of the special was how dangerous cancel culture is and finding comedy in public discourse and tragedy. I am a member of the LGBTQ community as well, and even I think people are flying off the handle because they didn't understand a word that Chappelle said because they didn't take the time to listen. Yep, that is a very, very, very good point. Rachel Resner 1 says, Becky, please watch the Dave Chappelle show in question on Netflix and listen to him. Actually, ironically addresses her articles, take specific words he said out of context, and the cancel train is filled with people who haven't even listened to him but only read biased articles. Very good point, people. You need to take a look at the source that these articles are quoting, whether it be video, a book, a movie, people's exact words. You have to take a look at the source. Please actually watch the special on Netflix and then form your own critically reasoned opinion. And if you then agree that this is someone you don't want to support, then go ahead and denounce him. Otherwise, you are going to end up so bullied and battered trying to please everyone that you will lose all sense of self. And sense of self is exactly what you're trying to achieve on this new chapter and journey you're on. Exactly, Rachel Wesner 1. Very good points here. And somebody is speaking about the flag, the Vinland flag, which was actually, the flag is type O negative. It was later used by dumb pieces of shite for hate. You have it up for your love of type O negative. I will keep it. Also, the people that are pissed at Dave are the ones that probably didn't even watch the whole special. It was really good, and the last 15 minutes had a lot of heart. Probably would even bring a tear to your eye. Don't let people tell you what you should do or think. Said gracefully by Jamie Reynolds. So, I guess the point of this all is to just not listen to articles. Look at the source of the information, people. You gotta, put your mind to a process where you don't get sucked into people's bias and look at it objectively and subjectively, really, and formulate your own opinion. Kinda Good, Kinda Beck posted 4 hours ago. I'll say this one more time and then I'm done. You can't get a car around here for $2,000. So there went that plan. Even if I could, then there's no money for gas, insurance, or money for me to eat, to live. I have put in applications over the past month and haven't gotten anything, so when they say they're short-staffed because no one wants to work, that's bullshit. I live in the middle of nowhere, and the town I'm from doesn't have public transportation. I made the GoFundMe under the impression I could just get a car. It wasn't closed and deleted when my nephew knew the O2 sensor needed replaced, definitely. So that's what I did first. That wasn't all of the problems though. I decided to wait until YouTube money came in to order the rest of everything else to fix it. So no, not all of that GoFundMe didn't go to my car. It couldn't. I didn't know I wouldn't be using the entire GoFundMe money for the car when I made the GoFundMe life happen. A bunch of other stuff happened. Stuff I didn't have to talk about. Stuff I don't have to talk about. I know the ones who are mad will still stay mad. Whatever, I'm used to people getting mad on the internet over literally nothing. And the ones who understand my situation, thank you. It's a transitional period in my life. I still have content coming. I just haven't been around decent enough Wi-Fi for an upload over the weekend. But I'll try to get one up tonight or tomorrow. Art videos, gaming, and movie content coming. Live starting the first week of November. Let me know what you'd like to see in the lives. You guys miss Mad Libs or no? Let's take a look at the comments here, folks. Let's take a look at the comments. Erica Ortiz says, Becky, your channel is turning into your ex-girlfriend channel. I'd relax on the community posts you make. You have to understand why people are frustrated and questioning where their money went. If you couldn't use the money to fix the car, a simple explanation in one of your videos like, hey guys, just wanted to give you an update kind of thing. That's all it would have taken and moved on from the conversation. Many people here still wish you well and a lot see where you left from, especially since Amber still trash talk about you. So don't let your channel become toxic like hers. Just explain yourself and move on. That's all. Excuse me. That is actually very, very true. In terms of the video explanation, I think what would be good is she explained herself by way of video. Or what would have been good is once the certain situation of the appropriation of the funds came up, maybe put it to a vote in her community tab and see, hey, I can use this amount of money for fixing my car, but I also need to survive. Vote on whether or not where your funds go to, and then have a very political approach to it where people are voting like, okay, explain yourself well. I understand that this was for the car, but I also have to eat. I have to survive, etc., etc., etc. But once I'm saying that, how about all the money that Amberlynn Reed said she would give Becky when Becky was on the lives? Where did that money go? It's not like it was pennies or a few dollars. It was hundreds or even $1,000 or so dollars. And half of that was Becky. So where did that money go? Also, Becky knew for a while when she got paid a few days ago, because it is now October 24th, that she would be getting thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. She knew this weeks ago. She could have made some sort of plan, do something where she used her own funds, her own monies from her videos to fix her car, etc., etc., etc. So there's still a lot of things not really adding up when Becky is talking about this, and I can totally understand a lot of people's points when it comes to the misappropriation of funds. She could have done it, in a lot of other ways. She's constantly complaining about being stressed and blah, blah, blah. But Becky, based on your views that you are getting from your channel, you are actually doing really, really well. 84.4k subscribers, some videos with over 100k views. that is doing extremely well. That is the equivalent of what big channels get. Some channels, even with over 1 million subs, don't even get that much viewership. So she could have done this, like I said, a million ways, but she did not. Let's continue with Strawberry BBT. Becky, I love you, but this is a terrible response. This feels like a child throwing a tantrum or trying to deflect criticism. It's just coming across as toxic, and it feels like something your ex would say. The fact that you're liking comments that call the people criticizing you narcissists or haters is incredibly immature. These people are rooting for you and want you to succeed, and part of this is giving you criticism. Fair enough. When money is involved, people absolutely have the right to feel angry. I understand that life just happens when you're an adult, but you've just admitted you didn't know how much you needed to fix the car before you set up the GoFundMe, which would have made the GoFundMe useless in the first place because you didn't even know how much you needed for the thing you were trying to raise money for. If you realized after that you couldn't use it towards a car, then you should have simply told everyone where the money was going to have to go instead, not after you spent it. Yeah, that is also a fair point. Regardless of what your intentions were or what situation was, you just can't take money from people and use it for something else and tell them about it after. Yup. You had many channels to communicate with your audience about this beforehand, but you didn't use a single one. We would have understood if you just came clean about it before because you were leaving an abusive relationship, but instead you chose to respond like this. Very disappointed, Becky. Edit. I'd like to clarify that the main reason why people are mad is because you spent the money, or you used the money on something else. Like I said, people would have understood your situation, but because you didn't tell anyone beforehand and instead lied about where the money was going until after you used it, and when you chose to reveal the truth, you did it in a terrible way. Big facts on that one. A lot of people are upset about how she went along with the situation. I can understand she was stressed. I can understand she was upset. She needed her car fixed right away so she wouldn't be stranded, among other things, using it for work. But the way how she went along with the entire thing is very Amberlynn Reid-esque, so to speak. And living with Amberlynn Reid for 4 years is rubbing off on Becky, it seems, and Becky is in a pickle. So one, the flag, it's a Vinland flag. Make your own reasonings, your own thought process with that one. I can understand that people are saying it's a type O negative flag, but it's been commandeered by people who are neo-Nazis in nature. So I guess, should she throw it in the garbage or should she not throw it in the garbage? 2, the Dave Chappelle special. She really needs to watch that rather than formulating her opinion just off of articles. I'm sure there's going to be tons of articles that paint it in a negative light compared to maybe seldom articles that paint the special in a positive light. But at the end of the day, she should really watch what Dave Chappelle is saying in his special. At least give him that. And then formulate your opinion after that. Third, the GoFundMe, like I said, could have been handled a lot differently than how she's handling it now. Amongst other things, I think she should really address this in a video. Anyways, that is it for me. My throat is still giving me issues, but please leave me a comment, like, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos, and I will see you later. Take care.